Hello all, welcome to www.bispsolutions.com. In this series of planning tickets, today we are going to solve following problem statements. The first ticket, it says that we have to write a rule to calculate indirect cash flow. Okay, so now there are two components. We have to calculate indirect cash flow with the help of a rule. Now firstly, let me explain you a brief idea about indirect cash flow, how it is helpful, why it is created, in the organization, what is the need of creating indirect cash flow. So this here you can see extract of one indirect cash flow. So this is a method which calculates cash flow by adjusting net income with differences from non-cash transactions. Here you can see it starts with a business net income and then lists the cash flows which both received and paid for various activities. That is the three cash flow categories: operating, investing and financing. So in indirect cash flow, the cash input and output is categorized into three types of categories, which is operating, investing and financing. So here you can see we have started with net income. Then there are adjustment we have done for non-cash items. There are depreciation, amortization, further below. Then you can see there's changes in the working capital, which you can categorize as the financing activities. Okay, now then there is decrease in accounts receivable, accounts payable, accounts, and then inventory, increase in inventory. There's increase or decrease in various accounts, which these accounts receivable, payable, inventory are all operating. It will come into operating cash flow category. So from all the categories we going to deduct the opening cash, and we at the end we will arrive at the net cash flow. So let's go to the application, and there I will show you all these accounts. So we have logged in as service administrator in the planning application, and I'm going into the dimensions to first show you the cash flow, okay, and various operating, investing and financing activities that is affecting the cash flow. So this is cash flow. Here you can see, if you drill it down, you can see it is divided into three categories: net cash from operations, then investing and then financing. So when we talk about operating activities, this will include cash activities which is related to net income. You can see here net income. For example, cash generated from sale of goods, that is revenue, or cash paid for merchandise, that is expense, are all operating activities because revenues and expenses are included in net income. Then we have investing activities. So these include cash activities related to non-current assets. Now non-current assets will include long-term investment, property, plant and equipment, the principal amount of loans made to other entities. For example, cash generated from sale of land, and cash paid for an investment in another company. These are included in investing activities. Lastly, we have net cash provided by financing. So these are financing activities. It will include cash activities which is related to non-current liabilities and owner's equity, like the principal amount of long-term debt, or stock sales and repurchases, dividend payments. So all these three categories, when they affect the net income, the end result, it will be indirect cash flow. Now the ticket says we have to create a rule to show the effect, to show the calculation of indirect cash flow. So basically it will serve the purpose of automating the calculation and presentation of cash flow. The approach will start with net income, and it will adjust for non-cash transactions, as I've already shown you in the slide over here. It will start with net income, it will adjust for non-cash transactions, changes in working capital, and other operational, investing and financing activities to arrive at the net cash flow. So let's go to the application here, and we'll create the rule. So through navigator, we'll go to create and manage tab, and here under rules we're going to create this rule. So basically we are creating this rule to automate the complex calculations which is involved in deriving cash flow from indirect method. So under actions, click on this new object, select the application type, the application name, the cube, the object type which is rule set, and provide the name of your rule. So indirect cash flow. Now this way, when we create the rule, it will account for changes in current assets and liabilities, that is accounts receivable, inventories, accounts payable, to calculate cash flow from operating activities. By writing this rule, the indirect cash flow statement is automatically derived, which is based on the income statement and balance sheet accounts in PBCS. Let's start writing the rule. So we have to first fix certain dimensions, so that it will restrict the calculation scope to these specified dimension that we are fixing. So this is HSP view dimension, base data is fixed. Next I will fix the scenario, which is plan. Second, I am fixing it for revised plan. Entity I am taking, and the product dimension. Now I will fix certain substitution variables here. So these substitution variables I have already created in the application. I will show you. So we'll go to the Under tools we have variables. Here we create the substitution variable. So and current year and next year and current version, this is already there. So here we'll go to substitution variables. You can see current year. Okay, now current year is right now FY23, next year is FY24, and my current version is working. So by fixing this, it will basically every time when the year changes, we do not have to go to the rule and change the year. Once we change the year over here, it will subsequently get changed in the rule. So we have fixed these members, dimension members, so that it will restrict the calculation scope to only these members. Okay, and some substitution variables I have taken so that we do not have to come to the rule every year or maybe every period to change over here. We can change over in the application all these substitution variables, and automatically the rule will work for subsequent years and the version. Okay, this is done. Next I will provide a template in the rule. This is start template, starting of the cash flow. I'm providing the name of this application, the cube name, and the heading of this template is cash flow. So this would mark the beginning of the cash flow calculation logic, possibly following a standard naming convention in the PBS environment. Now I will take the first member over here, which is my operating member, which is accounts receivable. Okay, now I've written change in accounts receivable. This will specify the account where the calculated result will be stored. This is the member of cash flow. Then I have picked up if statement. This is a conditional logic which is applied only when the current member is a descendant of year total. So this will fix on all the descendants of the year total. So the purpose is basically this will ensure that this rule applies to all relevant members. now we will calculate the change in accounts receivable. Now these members are there, okay, in the application. I will show you. You can pick up from the dimension, cash flow dimension. In accounts dimension there is a cash flow member. You can pick up from there. If I'll show you the members. So I'll take one member from each of these head, okay. See, this is changes in accounts receivable. I'll calculate this one. Then from investing, I will calculate in changes in other assets, and we'll take one from financing also. So all the three cash flow categories, operating, investing and financing, I'm picking one members from each category to show you the changes. And here I will pick changes in other equity members. So the first one is changes in accounts receivable. This is equal to, now I am writing the calculation how it will going to calculate. So prior, at the rate prior, now here change in accounts receivable. So this will calculate the difference between the prior period. The member is 1200. This is the member. I'll show you in the application. So now see, this is 1200. This is the parent member of accounts receivable. So here we are calculating changes in accounts receivable. This will calculate the difference between the prior period accounts receivable and the current period accounts receivable for this account 1200, so that it can track how accounts receivable changed over the period. The next is our investing. This is one we have taken operating. Next we'll take investing activities. So here in the application, this is the investing members, changes in other assets. I'll pick. So changes in other assets is equal to, at the rate prior, again we are calculating it in the same way that we have calculated the last one. So 1700, here you can see 1700, this is other assets. So prior period minus current period other asset, this will show you changes in the prior period. Finally, the financing activity will take changes in other equity. Changes in other equity is equal to Now this is the member other equity total. The name in the application is this, minus @ prior other equity total. So we have provided all the three changes here. First one here you can see operating activities, second is investing, and third is financing activity. Then I have to write here about the rule for the command for the beginning balance. Where are we starting this cash flow? It is starting from the cash beginning balance. Now 1100, this is cash, this is member cash and cash equivalent. So that cash and cash equivalent, the prior period, this is the beginning balance. Okay, whatever balance in the cash account for the prior period is, that is our beginning balance. Now we will close the if statement over here with end if. We'll close all the brackets that we have opened, and now I will close this template. So we have started here. The same thing I'll copy and I'll give the command of close end. Now here we have fixed all the I descendants of cash flow. So this rule will be applicable on all the uh, it will fix on all descendants of cash flow hierarchy to perform further calculations. Okay, so it will ensure that the rule applies to all relevant cash flow accounts. And lastly, this cal dimension entity, this will trigger the calculation of entity dimension. So this will ensure proper aggregation of other required calculations are performed in the entity dimension. Now this is what the entire rule all about. Now I will validate this rule to see if there is any error. So this rule validated successfully, there is no error. We'll deploy the rule, validate and deploy the rule. Now we'll see the calculation with the help of a smart view. This is a smart view already created. I have taken the same dimension members. You can see FY24 I have taken January 110 is the entity, base data plan, working, product P underscore 000. These are the members on which we are calculating. So this is accounts receivable, this is uh, uh, other assets. Okay, and here then in the cash flow, you can see changes in accounts receivable. I have taken the members, and this is changes in other assets. Okay, now let's uh, submit some value in these members. And the purpose of creating this rule for the cash flow is we want to see what is the changes coming in the cash flow members, what is the change in accounts receivable, in inventory. So with the help of this rule, once we input the figures on these members, their relative changes will be shown once we launch the rule. Okay, so here for accounts receivable 100, and here 250. Then this is our other assets. I will submit the data. This has been submitted, and here right now you are not seeing any changes because we haven't launched the rule yet. So here we'll go and launch this rule. Now let's see the effect in the cash flow. Here you can see the changes from period January to February. So you can see there is increase of 150 over here. Okay, and then in the other assets you can see the change is of 300. So this is showing you in the member changes in other assets. So this way you can create rule for cash flow and you will get the results. The required result is there. This is the way we create a rule. Coming to our second ticket, here this is a simple one. We have to calculate payroll taxes. So over here in the accounts dimension, I have two members, salaries and payroll tax, already there. I'll show you the members. So on the basis of salaries, we're going to calculate payroll taxes. Now this is salary member and this is payroll tax. On the basis, let's suppose 10% of the salary is the payroll tax. So let's see how can we calculate. These two members are already there. I'll create a rule for this also. We are creating a new rule. So again we have to provide the application type, name, rule name. Payroll tax is the name of the rule. I'll fix here all the dimensions, all the dimension members on which I want to run this rule. So this is year FY24. Next I'll take the month January. we'll take entity. Product I have already fixed. Entity I'll take 111. I've already created the smart view for this, so let me see the POV that I've done. So this is entity is 111, and then version working, and plan scenario. Now I'm going to calculate payroll taxes. So this is the member name in the application for payroll taxes. This would be it is equal to certain percentage of salary. So I'll take salary over here first, and we will, this is the salary account, then we'll multiply it with, we'll create a variable over here. So from this icon you insert a variable, payroll tax. This is a variable. This type I will make it as percent. So certain percent of the salary, let's suppose 10%. Okay, so this variable I have created, payroll tax, and I will select it over here. So 10% is of salary would be the payroll tax. I have created a variable as a percent variable. Now this rule is done. We will see, validate it, and check if there's any errors. So this is done. I'll deploy it, and then we'll submit some figure in the smart view already created. Okay, so there's some error in the application. Let me check the application again. So the application is working fine. I think some error. So let me create the rule again. Okay, so the application has got deleted. I guess I'm not able to show you this. I'm refreshing the application. So there's some error coming in the application. Okay, this is not supporting. Let me see other browser over here. The same instance I've opened in another browser. Okay, the application has got deleted. So okay, well, I've already told you the rule. That is how the rule is created, and I was not able to show you the result. The only thing is you have to submit some data into salary, launch the rule, and automatically this payroll tax will get calculated. So that's it for today. If you have any queries, you can write to us at www.bispsolutions